Hi everyone, welcome to EQSIS. In this video, you learn how to use Intraday Scanner for the day trading. This tutorial is good for both beginner and the advanced day traders. And we are splitting this tutorial into various videos and keeping them as a part of playlist. So in this particular playlist, you're gonna find lots of short videos explaining the each and every aspects of Intraday Scanner, which probably make you to use that scanner very smartly. Why intraday scanners are important? Finding the right stock is generally the very first activity among the intraday traders. So when we have thousands of companies getting traded in the exchange, but we may be interested in very few which can provide us the tradable opportunity on a real-time basis. So to narrow down the stocks on a very logical factor, we need some scanners and filters which suits our trading system. So EQSIS Intraday Scanner can make your stock selection activity much faster and profitable. So I definitely recommend you watching this tutorial because to get the best out of EQSIS Intraday Scanner, you need to understand how it works and its features. So this tutorial can help you to use intraday scanners very effectively. So this playlist contains a lot of short videos explaining various filters and its usage on day trading. Hope it is very useful for your day trading career. Before I move forward explaining or giving you the demo about the intraday scanner, let me first tell you where you can access this intraday scanner at free of cost. So let me show you a link now. I hope you can parallelly open this so that you can connect this video along with that particular one so that you get the hands-on out of that. Let me quickly show you how you can find this intraday scanner from the Google search engine itself. Let's say if you go to Google search bar and search EQSIS, there you find a very first link. Just click onto that and it takes you through our website. There you see a menu called analysis. Underneath you see a lot of interesting analytical tool, but I'm talking about the one which is intraday scanner. So if I click on intraday scanner, it takes me through the scanner tool. So I definitely recommend you to bookmark this tool so that you don't have to repeat this process again and again. Or by any chance, if you find it very difficult to get it now, so I will definitely drop this link in the description of the same video. I hope you can get it there. So coming back to this particular tool, you see there is a three broad sections. The one which is about the stock table itself. The second one is the chart which displays the price behavior for the particular day, consists of 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes and daily frequencies. And the third section is about the display of index. Because as a day trader, I'm still interested in looking at the charts. I really want to know how or which sectors are performing. And of course, I need some filtering ways by which I find the right stock. So this tool is a combination of all three. But you need to know how to access them, how to use them collectively so that you find the right stock in a very short span of time. Let me first get in detail of the first section, which is the stock scanner table itself. Let me now show you how you can customize this table so that you can get best out of it. If you see this table now, you see there are so many columns opened. There may be some relevant columns, but there are some columns which may not be used by you. So you need to keep this relevant column open so that it comes handy and you can get best out of it. How you can do it? What you do is, can you see there is a sub-menu section? If you click on here, this is an interesting way by which you can customize your columns because there are some group of columns available here, or you can even choose custom so that it displays the column which are currently open. So if you wish to hide the column which is industry, open study, price, D, you can actually hide everything which you don't really want it. And if I want this industry, if I want this open study, if I want this price I can keep these three columns. I can actually hide rest of the columns. So what happens is, now in this single screen, I can see everything. I don't have any scroller, provided I need just three column alone. But if you need more, you can definitely take it. I don't disagree with that. But now, if I want to filter the stocks based on day gainer, in one click, I get this day gainer in front of me. If I want to filter a stock from the metal, then in one click, I get this metal right in front of me. But if you are a sophisticated trader coming with very interesting columns, you can actually go to this column and you can keep open all of these columns which are relevant to you. But remember, EQSIS generally doesn't recommend to keep all the columns open. That is the reason why we give you some default column sections. So you see there is something called Intraday Columns. So if I click on Intraday Columns, you see some columns named as volume profile, open study, price-I. I'm going to explain this now. So if you look at volume profile, we have already posted a dedicated video on that. But in one line, if I explain it, throughout the day, a lot of trading happened at various prices. Am I right? Let's say the stock traded between 100 to 110. And you see for that intraday, there is a 10 rupees range the price of traded. But now what we do is we slice every 1 rupee. It means there is a 10 components between 100 to 110. So each and every 1 rupee, how much traded volume have happened will be positioned here. So with respect to Coal India now, the stock may have traded from 143 till 146 today, but we have actually segregated for every 30 paise as a basket, and we were looking at which particular 30 paise got a lot of volume. So this tells you at what price range a lot of traders got associated. Likewise, they're going to explain each and every filters now as a high level, but how to use these filters. The filters works with what combinations, what kind of success ratio one can expect will be there in the dedicated video coming forward. So we are splitting that, this whole tutorial into a lot of short videos as well. So now I hope you got some clarity about volume profile. But by any chance, if you want to know the volume profile of a company called Infosys, what you do is just go to the symbol, click here and type Infosys. So Infosys INFY. So in one click, you got to know this Infosys volume profile right in front of you. I hope you guys can see there is a green color here, which is a dark color. That talks about the current price of the Infosys, that the current price falls in that range. And the orange one talks about the highest volume at the given basket. So if you want to know more detail about it, I can actually put it in this in the description about the volume profile video where we explained things in detail itself. So you can definitely go and check it out. Now I'll talk about open study. Because among intraday trader, you might have noticed a lot of us wish to trade based on open high, open low, sometimes gap up, gap down. So those things are pretty much available through open study. So this talks about gaps, this talks about open high, open low. But now you see it's only two options, open low and weak bulls. What happened to the rest of the options? Look, this filter, if I remove this filter, you can see nothing but open low and weak bulls. So open high is not there at the given time when I'm browsing it. So we are not keeping all the options available when you filter. Rather, we are keeping the options which can probably keep at least one stock. So don't worry if you don't see open high now. By tomorrow, if there is any stock matching open high, this will automatically load here. So a lot of people ask this question, Murugan, why this option doesn't exist now? Because there is no stock matching for the criteria. So if there is stock coming up criteria, it will automatically load here. So it saves time, right? So straight away you can focus on open low and weak bulls. That's what available now for you to move forward. So what is open low? A stock opened and from there it has started moving up. So it didn't go anything below the open. I think this is a very classic formula. Open is equal to low price, right? So on that we take it. Then what does it mean by open weak bulls, Morgan? Weak bulls is probably like the stock have opened really on a gap up, but unable to sustain, rather the gap got filled. Okay, so at gaps but got filled. So that shows there is a weak bull because the selling is coming up after the gap up. So unsustainable bulls. So we are going to have a dedicated video talking about open study. Then what is this particular video all about? Just to explain each and every column on a high level. So coming back to the second one, which is price-I. Can you see there is -I as a suffix? So this talks about the day gainer, day losers from the intraday perspective. So this -I talks about intraday details. So likewise, if you see trade-I, this talks about top traded stocks for the day, So today, if you want to know what are the stocks top traded, I will be taking this trades-I. But if you want to know what stocks are really, are traded heavily yesterday, then probably what you can do is, it may not be there as intraday columns, but that must be there in the EOD columns. So if I go to EOD columns, you can see trades D, that is yesterday on a daily basis, on a daily chart. If this stock is heavily traded, this is actively traded. Why this is important? Because this is important to me because, as a day trader today, I'm interested in stocks which are given breakout yesterday. So there are a lot of intraday traders look for end of the day analysis and they may prepare the stock well in advance for the next day. So I'm not telling you you have to do it in that style itself, but if you follow that, then this filter can help you out. So coming back to this intraday column here, you can go for it. And that's not the only way to take the EOD columns. If you want to keep that column alone, then you can go to this custom and you can enable this trade-d. Then along with your intraday columns, it will also come as trade-d. So this way you can even customize it. So if you wish to if you wish to hide some of the intraday columns which you don't find it comfortable, just do that with the custom section. And of course, this portal will remember your selection and it will keep you open default next time. So that's the beauty of this particular portal as well. Okay, coming back to this intraday section, which is the second column is in trade high. So these two are self-explanatory, price high and trade highs, because you get to know the day gainers and top traders. This is a very common filter among day traders. Although it looks common and but I see it is poorly underrated. The lot of good thing can be done. We see some fantastic success ratios by working on this particular combinations. It looks straightforward, day gainer and top trader, but it does some good things. Coming back to I-Y volume. Okay, what does it mean? Intraday versus yesterday's volume, probably. Like, it talks about the surge in volume in the given stock at the given day. Okay, in today's volume is quite higher than its recent days. Okay, then it comes the volume gainers, because in top traded, of course, the Bharat Airtel, Bajaj Finance, ICICI, Infosys, Reliance are the common names, because out of top 100, these stocks are heavily traded on day-to-day basis. So the top traded mostly talks about liquidity. But if you look at I-Y, the volume, that talks about the stocks which are got lot of traded volume over yesterday. So even it can be a company like Britannia, but Britannia got a lot of volume than yesterday, then that will come into the picture. So if I click on volume gainer, you see some stocks like Indigo. Okay, now that's not a top traded, but this is a stock which are trading quite heavily when compared to yesterday. That's called volume gainer. So that's an interesting aspect of it. But if you look at this volume gainer, it talks about the volume with previous day over the current day. But if you want to know the volume at the given moment, like last 15-20 minutes or last 3-4 minutes, last 5 minutes, if there is any surge in volume, okay, on an intraday basis, because this is really relevant among the intraday traders, because when you go for intraday trading, you want to capture the momentum quickly. So this volume surge will make you focus on the right stock. So if you see there is volume surge, this volume talks about a sudden surge in volume. Like there are hundreds of companies, out of which some companies are getting quite a good volume in last 3-4 minutes when compared to the full day. Am I right? So that comes under volume surge. If I click on any volume surge, I'm sure you see those stocks are having quite a good volume on real-time basis. So let's say I give you a demo on Dabur. If I click on 1 minute, you see that the recent times the volume must be high. Okay, if I see HDFC, so at the recent times the volumes are high. So this talks about the volume about last 4-5 minutes. Okay, if there is a surge in volume in last 4-5 minutes, okay, really meant for the intraday player, volume surge coming into the picture. Now coming back to this RSI-I. So I've already told you -I talks about intraday. So this RSI is computed based on intraday chart. So it is taking 1 minute chart for last 14 as a parameter, and it is actually accounting the RSI reading. So if I filter it, it shows me some stocks are there below 30. See, we are not interested in showing you all the stocks. Okay, we are not showing you the numbers of intraday because it is a filter, right? So mostly the end users are interested in filtering the stocks with the RSI reading below 30 or above 30, above 70. So if I say below 30, Kotak Bank now, the RSI is ticking below 30. So if I see some trading opportunities, let's say with a combination of volume surge, if there is any reversals, then I can quickly go for a trading. I'm not talking about the combination detail now, but definitely there is a lot of scope to do it. And that's why we have a dedicated videos coming up. And you see the next column is range. So when it comes to range, this talks about the, you see there is a, let's say if I click on contracting and you see there are a lot of stocks and I take Sun Pharma, okay. Now what you see is every candle has open and close. high and low. So the difference between high and low is the range, right? The difference between the high and low. That talks about the size of the candle. Even in candlestick analysis is very important. The size of the candle really matters. So is these sizes are getting expanding or contracting? So I want to know. So if you want to know the stocks where the size of the candles are expanding or contracting, like you see this at the early day the candles were very big, but now the candles are actually contracting. It's a kind of the volatility is coming down, or probably you can see this the range is shrinking. This concept is slightly used in the Bollinger Band as well. So the range is shrinking or extracting. So here you see the contracting. If you want to see the stocks which are expanding, so if I click on Havels, you see the recent bars are quite bigger when compared to the beginning of the day. This may be useful for some intraday trading system. So when or where to use, we will see later. But this is how you can do it. So this feature is there in the tool. That's what I'm highlighting it now, and the range. So if you go to the volatility, it is talking about consistent and inconsistent. So what does consistent means in the volatility column? See, let's say a stock is actually moving, but moving on a consistent note, like like every candle consistently gaining like 1%, 1%, 1%. Of course, in intraday, every 1 minute doesn't gain 1%. Let's say about 1 rupee, 1 rupee, 1 rupee. That shows a consistent behavior. Or 1 rupee, 1 rupee, 1 rupee downward. That again shows a consistency behavior. What is inconsistent? One candle suddenly gaining 3 rupees, one candle suddenly losing 4 rupees, 3 rupees. Okay, there are hundreds of companies, but some companies may be passively consistently moving up. This is not talking about moving up, but this talks about consistency. So this need to be used with other column, maybe day gainer or maybe volume gainers, or consistent with top traded. So you need to use the right combinations so that you get to know that some hidden gems in the markets. So this talks about this volatility and this particular area. And of course, if I go to this next one, which is current trend, this is a very interesting the concept from EQSIS, because we use this tool for a long time, because we have something called claiming bulls and dragging bears. So we have named it in this fashion. So claiming bulls, the list of companies are classically so good for intraday because they are consistent about moving up. And this could have essence from the range, and there are few more combinations. So we keep as one filter here. So in one click, I get to know the claiming bulls like Gale, Hindustan Petroleum, L&T. These guys got some real track records from the backtesting results. So we will see about that in the later part of the section. So claiming bulls means what? This talks about current trend. So in last 5-10 minutes, last 15-20 minutes, I see these guys are consistently moving up. So if I click on Hindustan Petroleum, you can see that the stocks were on a trending marching upward. Am I right? And L&T, you see the marching upward. And if I go for a dragging bears, okay, if I say Bandhan Bank, you see it is the recent time. It's in the recent times. I hope I'm just zooming in. You see that's consistent moving down. Why? Because it helps you to focus on the right stock. Let's say if you see that market is breaking out and you want to see the consistent or the claiming bulls, so you can just click onto it and you can take that outperformer. That can be done. So to explain in short, this talks about the trending behavior for the given maybe last 15-20 minutes. So I've used the word current. But if you use the word day trend, right from the morning there is a weakness. So if I click on Bosch, so if I click on Bosch now, it shows me right from the morning, the most of the time the stocks were heading lower than the heading higher. So the concept is same, but this accounts from the day opening itself, but this talks about the current level. So there are a lot more interesting columns, but of course you need the patience to understand everything. So coming back to a very, very interesting column, which is price strength hyphen intraday. This talks about heavy buying and heavy selling. What does it mean? Like, if I say heavy buying, these stocks are actually, heavily purchased by market participant is what we feel. I mean, now there are hundreds of companies is what we are filtering. Out of hundreds of companies, these stocks like Adani ENT, Hindalco, Lupins, are having a classic behavior of volume, price, and the correlation analysis with various aspects showing that the traders are coming again and again of placing buy orders. There is a concept of accumulation distribution. So those concepts have also been used in order to get this heavy buying and heavy selling filters. So this is again from EQSIS, and it is a very classic filter. So a lot of our end users may be interested in this as well. And you see there is behavior, because this is very interesting, because sometimes the markets are really moving up, heavily marching upward, but the market may be a kind of overbought scenario. So you may see some sort of market to go down, but you need to understand who is following the market, who is against the market. So we need to go with a stock who is following the market. Sometimes we want to form a pair trading, so we want to pick up one which is following the market, one is against the market. So if you want to see the stock which are moving against the market behavior, you can click on this stock, and you see that the correlation between the stock to the market is very low. That's why it shows against the market. And if you see, it is the correlation to the market followers may be pretty good, like Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. Of course, all the banks are now just mapping the market today. So the bankings went along with the market. Of course, these stocks, the private stocks, is what I mean it now. And at last, with respect to the intraday columns, we have something called trading in basket. This is very, very interesting, because think about it as a foreign institutional investors, or you as a fund manager. When you really want to invest, you don't invest in one shot, so you wish to diversify, right? So sometimes you see some stock behaviors are goes in parallel. So you see whenever the stock goes up, the other stocks also going up, and there's a volume coming up here, also volume coming up. When this is shrinking, this is also shrinking. That some common behaviors are noticed in some stocks, and that all stocks need to be basketed. So that, like, when one stock is going up and this stock is going down, whenever it is going up, this is going down. So this is also a common behavior, because I may have a plan of buying one and selling one. So whenever I punch an order, I buy one, I sell one. So the kind of pair trading. So we need to understand a lot of stats behind those stocks, and then we have to group them. So we call that as a trading in basket. This is again very interesting, because if you click on trading in basket, these stocks got some a common behavior. Like, let's say Axis Bank and Bajaj Holding, it's all fine. ICICI banks are moving in line, whereas Reliance, Power Grid, Tata Motors are just contradicting. But surprisingly, all are somehow really relevant companies, good for a basket players to trade around. So I see these stocks are pretty interesting from intraday. Of course, what I've explained so far is intraday columns, and there is something called EOD columns. So if I go to EOD columns, you see this RSI-D. This talks about the RSI computed by taking daily chart for maybe with a parameter of 14, and if the reading is over 70, and it actually comes as above 70, and markets were at all-time high, there must be a lot of stocks quoting at above 70. It's not surprise. But as an intraday trader, you may have a system of long or shorts at above 70, below 30. You can definitely use it. Sir, RSI above 70, needless to be, creating a short positions. Sometimes that talks about heavy strength in the market as well. So we surprised to see unusual behaviors at the back testing results. So we may be interested in showing that when we explain or posting the dedicated video for RSI-D in the same playlist itself. So you can definitely expect in the coming weeks. So don't trade it blindly with RSI. So we come across with some good experience out of that. So we may be interested in posting that. How EQSIS does this backtesting? Probably I talk about that after explaining this column. So there you get to know that we are not just about showing you some scanners and filters. We are recording each and everything, and we are seeing whether things are performing or not. So that a kind of machine learning we are doing, so that we build a trading systems which are good for our recommendation services, good for even trading our own. So really good to optimize our experience of clients as well. So we have a plan of posting videos as well talking about that. So just wait for a while. In the same video, I'll talk about how we take the success ratios and everything. Coming back to the support and resistance, the support resistance, you don't see sometime the support resistance, because there may not be much of swing at the recent times. But if you see, there is Britannia, and if you take daily charts, I'm sure Britannia 3,700. 3,700 may be the recent bottom here. Can you see there's a recent bottom in the daily chart? And of course, the top is at this top, so that is the top. And now the Britannia's today's price is even higher than the the it's slightly lower, but it managed to break even the that high. And you see the HCL recent top is 1178, the recent bottom is 969, because this is like short term highs and lows getting broken. So we need this number sometime really relevant. Support resistance from the daily, okay? It's not intraday. Support resistance from the daily charts. Why? Because in daily chart, if I'm if I'm closer to the daily resistance and support, the intraday target stop loss need to be maintained accordingly. And then if I go to price D, this talks about yesterday's gainer and yesterday loser. Because if the stock is yesterday gainer, some momentum have happened yesterday. So I may be interested in looking at the yesterday's gainer. If I'm interested in like yesterday loser, I can actually pick up the stocks from the yesterday losers as well. But now with this combination, I don't have, because most of the stocks have run up yesterday, because then yesterday is one of the big day happened, in the market. So if I click on daily, and you get to know that the most of the stocks in the top hundreds went up. Yeah, coming back to this actively traded, these stocks got quite a good volume yesterday over its recent day. So these stocks would have given a breakout at yesterday, most likely. The volumes were quite high on these stocks. Like if I say Bharti Airtel, even you see yesterday volume is quite higher than the recent times. Can you see that? And if I say Nestle, and you can see the yesterday's volumes are quite high. So these stocks may be useful, because when you see that highs or lows are further broken, you can plan for the trades accordingly. So all these columns are meant for some intraday traders, not for everyone. So you need to choose the right column. So that's why. But why am I explaining everything? Probably you see some interesting column meant for you. So have a patience to see everything and decide. And coming back to the speed strength daily. So I've shown you something sometime back: heavy buying, heavy selling, computing that behavior on intraday basis. But if I wish to do the same thing from a daily perspective, then I talk about the fund house investing or accumulating, distributing stocks, and they may be buying some shares and parallelly selling some shares. That's like, if I show any, I can see these are all active buyers, active sellers. That's very interesting to connect with. And there is a delivery hyphen D. Matlab what? On yesterday, what stocks are delivered most? Because the delivery percentage may be very high, may be good for intraday trading today. Am I right? It's not intraday traded, rather it is delivery traded. But this need to be seen along with some momentum today. So don't blindly trade on stocks which have delivered most. Look at some combinations of intraday as well. So have this balance. Okay, but this is definitely good for intraday EOD analysis. Okay, why this group of columns coming here? Let's say you dedicate, let's say, half an hour, okay, in the given day to see what happened yesterday. From there, if you wish to pick up a stock, then use EOD analysis. But if you want to know what is happening now, currently, then look for intraday columns. But if you are a volume-based study you want to do go for volume analysis. There you see that columns which are relevant to volumes, not the price, volumes. Like this is top traded volume gainer, but this been already explained, of course. You can see that. But how to use these combinations, what combinations works best, for that I need to put a separate video, right? Otherwise it's going to be a very lengthy, and you may not be in the position to digest everything. So we are coming up with dedicated videos for most of the columns or some of the combinations of columns as well. Okay, I'll go back to the next one, which is the next feature is setting an alerts. This is very interesting feature, because if you wish to set alerts, okay, what you can actually do is I've taken this default. Let's say I go for a break. I go for a lunch, and meanwhile I may be tracking some combinations on which I trade. Let's say if I wish to trade based on, okay, let's say if I wish to trade based on day gainer, top traded, okay, and the top traded and heavy buying. Okay, if I want these three combinations, and when these three matches, I should be informed. Then what you have to do is you have to select all three, okay, day gainer, heavy buying, top traded, and you have to save this alert. And if you save this particular alert, it is asking you to sign up. So let me quickly log in here. Okay, if I log in here, so now I've just logged in here. So if I log in here, if I again go back to this intraday section and look at this now, it keeps my column predefined. Am I right? So that's the beauty of this one. So you don't have to customize your column every time, because this saves you locally and remembers the columns, and next time it keeps you loaded. And I fairly believe this is quite fast in working with Intraday Scanner as well. Coming back to setting alerts, now you will be surprised one more alert. But now look at this day gainer, and I'm actually taking up as what? Um, Heavy buying and top traded. Let's say this is my interesting combinations. I'm not telling you this is my combinations. I still recommend you to work with backtest your own study as well. I'm just giving you a demo like how this combination works. If I save alerts now, look at this. If I save alerts, it is going to give me your alerts got saved successfully, because the backend, we have a bot which monitors this very closely. And whenever you see a stock matching this three condition, which is day gainer, top traded, and heavy buying, in my mobile phone with the Telegram app, I get this notification stating it is happening. So I just gonna show you how you can open your Telegram, how you can search EQSIS alert bot, how you can start the service, and how you can enable it. So make sure that you watch it and you enable the services. If you have a problem in doing it, you can definitely put it in the comment section. We will help you out. So, but do try this now itself, because if you enable this as a one time, you will be getting this alerts which will do a lot of a quick job handy. I hope now you managed to activate your alerts with the Telegram. Now set your alerts. This will be saved successfully and you will be getting this reminders. Coming back to the loading of these columns, if you see IT is really doing well, in one click you get all the IT stocks, and then among IT this is a top traded, and you see the volume profile. And if you want to have your own custom columns, like say intraday columns for the IT stocks, just customize the columns. You get to know there is a claiming bulls on LTI, but there is inconsistent behavior in TCS. But if I want to have the stocks which are heavily purchased, I don't have anything. But LTA tells me that the claiming bulls, it means now the stocks are moving up, but from the morning it was heavily sold. So this stock was in the morning was not really good, but now it was moving up. Can you see this? Because you can't see hundreds of charts to decide one. So you need some algorithm which studies hundreds of charts, keeps it readily as per your requirement. That is what the broad idea of keeping this particular tool. What more you need it from here? Number one, you need to know how to use these columns effectively to build a trading system. Trading system, matlab, like I am interested in trading bears in charge along with volume search. And when it breaks the high or at the retracements, for that we're gonna come up with the dedicated video. So I hope you also agree that I can't put all of these in one, because there are a lot more features need to be explained with a lot more records. And I told you that something that if you are really has the patience to watch this video till this minute, I really appreciate your interest, because you deserve one more interesting aspect. Even in EQSIS, you might have seen a lot of scanners and filters prior to this. But now with this filter, we call it a very advanced pro level filter, because behind the screen there is artificial intelligence being introduced. Okay, now I classify artificial intelligence in two aspects. One is machine learning. Okay, when it comes to machine learning, every 1 minute our behind this our algorithm start tracking what are all the stocks forming the combinations. Let me give you a quick demo. Let's say now the time is 2:30. Keep it in this way. Now the time is 2:30 when I'm recording. Let's say by 2:30, I see a stock forming day loser, which is call Paul is day loser, volume gainer, and volume search. And it is pretty much matching this three condition. With this three condition, this stock managed to go up or managed to go down. So a machine doesn't know that the day loser is good or bad, but machine does know what happens to the stock at the end of the day with this combination. So what we do is by 9:30 we take a snap, 9:31 we take a snap. Likewise, almost every minute we got a snap, and we see what are all the factors interestingly worked at the early day of the month, early day of the trading session. Because some factors like open high, open lows, got not much of relevance at the 9:30, 10 o'clock time frame, but interestingly doing well at 11 o'clock or 1:30 behavior. Day gainer, day losers, how are they performing? Because a lot of trading systems literally dependent on day gainer, day loser, because day gainers are the stocks in the limelight, good to create long positions provided it matches along with the index. But are they really performing? No, because we as a research analyst, we also want to know that. So we have that algorithm which understands that and keeps the results right in front of us. So if I can even just give you some of the summaries in the dedicated video as we move forward. But I'm telling you one thing, that lot of work happening behind the screen, and we have long way to go with respect to this. And we also look for your support. By any chance, if you find that time you spent in watching this video is worth, you should also appreciate us by sharing this video. Okay, let's say you post this video in some group, lot more people coming up and lot more people contributing, lot more people supporting us, that will actually make us to move forward. So why we do this back testing and everything? Because a lot of our end users may not do that. And even if we want to build some trading systems and we want to know what factors to work, what time, because when we also have our advisory services talking about giving intraday recommendations. Okay, now we really wanted to take the emotions out of it. In simple, we have tested, there are close to 5,000 combinations. Let me tell you one thing, there is day gainer top traded is one combination, day traded top gainer volume gainer is one combination, consistent volume gainer is another combination. Likewise, there's about so many columns with so many combinations are possible. Am I right? Out of 5,500 combinations, hardly hundreds of combinations alone making sense, but there are 95 percent of combinations not giving much of trades, not giving much of stability in success ratios. Even in that 100 combinations, there are good combinations good for trading. So we keep those, and we also track it on month basis, so that the results are further happening, or if there is deviation in the result, so that we can further recommend that to our clients or not to recommend to the clients. So we are planning with some interesting things. We also keep some data available for end users to make use of it as well. So these are all the interesting ideas coming up with this. So what more you can expect now? With this particular video, you would have got how to use the scanner, what one can expect from the scanner, what could be the vision of EQSIS with respect to this intraday scanner. That's what the idea has been shared now, am I right? But coming videos are going to be one-on-one explaining the tools. Like I may be just talking about day traded, what is day gainer means, how this is computed, when to use this day gainer, when not to use this day gainer, what sort of success ratio we see out of that, what happened if I work at morning 9:30, what happens if I trade based on day gainer at 2 o'clock after 1:30 European market opens. So we may be talking about that in the subsequent videos. Hopefully you like it. Do recommend our videos so that we also see few more subscribers. That motivates definitely. And write your comments. When you spend time in writing your comments, that shows your the interest and commitment, and that motivates a lot to us as well. So quickly, why not you share this video in a couple of groups who can appreciate it. Thanks for all of you watching this particular video all the way till this minute. Thank you.